What's up? What's happening? Welcome back to another edition of the Minor League Take. I'm your host, Brad Case, and it's been a long, long time, folks, and I have missed you all. I miss talking to you guys. Hope you guys have had a great year as I've had. It's been a pleasure getting back to baseball, pleasure back to seeing all the boys, getting back to hanging out with all the people I love, and it's been a long year, but we're finally back. Wow, yeah, so the last time I talked to you guys was, I believe I want to say the Mark Washington episode. He's had a great year over in Double A, and we're going to run through everybody that we've had on the pod and talk a little bit about everybody. But first, I kind of want to talk about my life a little selfishly. But the last time I talked to you guys, I was getting ready to have, I think, my buddy Wes Albert on, who plays indie ball. And then out of nowhere, I caught COVID. It kind of caused a whole kind of a shit show right before spring training. Was supposed to throw a live session that morning over at Cressy. Woke up, was sick, not feeling well. Got a test, and then a day later, I got a call back saying like, "Hey, you have corona," which is not great. Both my roommates though got out of there as soon as they could. Both headed home to Philly and then out to Arizona for their spring training because they're both with the Dodgers. But yeah, so I, started my quarantine. Had to take some rest, some time off from training. Obviously, stopped going into Cressy because I wouldn't want to get anyone who was sick over there. And I still feel awful that I was sick around other people. But overall, the virus was nothing. I was sick for like 2 days, maybe. I was drowsy. I was a little tired. I just laid around and watched movies. It was really boring. I didn't like it. But yeah, so I did that, and then as I'm starting to feel better, started going to a field every single day and just throwing into a fence. It was really depressing. I didn't really have another choice though, and then I couldn't really do anything for strength training except for like some core and some light stuff with some band work. But I did what I could to try to stay in shape, try to stay ready for spring training. And then my lease ended. I stopped being quarantined, and then I had to, I basically had to move to a hotel in Bradenton and just live out of there, waiting basically for an okay to, rejoin spring training with everybody. And that took a good amount of time, a little longer than I would have liked. But, whatever, we got through it. Rejoined spring training and was very welcome to see, some nice changes around the facility because we had a whole new front office, moved in. And with his new front office, with John Baker and Coach Hop, we've really, seen a difference in, the leadership around there. And it's become much more player focused and much more, about feeling good, feeling happy, feeling, ready to go, compete as the best you can. I think my second day there was like Sleeveless Friday or something like that for fun. And everybody enjoyed that. Some guys got pretty out of hand with that. Some personalities that I'm hoping to, bring onto the podcast this offseason. But yeah, went through spring training. Felt pretty nervous the whole time because there were some crunches that we knew were going to have to be made. And was thankfully got to keep my job, got to keep on working. And it's funny, once I was, the cuts were made and I was aware that I was going to, be around for the season, I felt a million times better. And I felt like the huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders. And in my opinion, started pitching way, way better than what I had previously. And I learned a big thing about myself is that I gotta find a way to relax a little bit. But, spring training, we moved on. The rosters came out the very fateful day where everybody sees who their best friends are going to be for the summer. And unfortunately, I was not put on a roster. I was put in extended, and I was told, like, hey, we want to give you some time to build up still. I had only faced live hitters. I've only faced another team one time. I faced the Orioles once and had, like, 2 live VPs. So I really wasn't ready to go until, it's like 2 days into extended. I'm feeling a little bit down about myself. And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting in my room, like, watching TV, just trying to, like, enjoy, just trying to smile a little bit because I was pretty upset I wasn't able to, to go anywhere to go pitch. And then all of a sudden, I get a phone call, and it's Baker, and he goes, hey, can you drive to Altoona tomorrow? I was like, yeah, you got it, man, absolutely. I was all excited. I was pumped. I called one of my buddies, Shay, who hopefully he's going to come on as well. And I call him up. I'm like, hey, dude, like, what happened? Did someone get sick? Like, who messed up? And he's like, dude, this is not, he's like, this ain't good. And I found out one of my friends, Cody Bolton, actually, hurt himself. Hopefully we'll have him on as well. And I felt absolutely terrible that he had gotten hurt, but, um, it gave me an opportunity to get up there and, be able to pitch for the season. And it wasn't, I got moved into a long relief role, which, I mean, that's just part of the game. You got to learn how to do different things. And I think I've definitely did the best I could to grow and develop and try to figure out that role, as well as I could. But yeah, season went on. I learned a lot. I had some good times, had some bad times. But overall, I could not have been happier that baseball was back in my life because, man, it was depressing without it. Um, and yeah, so, but anyways, I need a little bit more update on my life. The middle of the season, I want to say around August, I've become pretty close with Travis McGregor. And Travis one day all of a sudden is just, I'm talking to him on the bench. I'm like, hey, so what were you up to today? He's like, oh, I was looking into apartments down in St. Pete. I was like, oh man, that sounds lucky. I wish I could do that because I had, my plan going into the off season was like, just live at home. And he goes, yeah, you want to come? I was like, what? He's like, yeah, dude, why don't you move down to St. Pete with me? I was like, holy crap, I got to think about it. But yeah, no, I'm in. So I thought about it a little bit, talked to my dad about it, talked to the coaches, so was seeing what they thought, and now I'm living down here in St. Pete. Got a job in downtown. Got nice little tiny apartment. Waking up every day, driving to Pirate City to go work out at the best facility I've ever worked out in my life. So I couldn't be more thankful. I couldn't be happier to be down here and in the Florida sun and out of the New York cold. Although I'd miss it for sure. But yeah, that's my life kind of going on right now. I just wanted to give, this is going to be a short 10-minute episode just to kind of say hi to you guys all again, uh, update you guys on my life, tell you what's going on with me, and yeah, just kind of a little refresher. And it's also, an encouragement for you guys to reach out, tell me your opinions about the show, tell me what you guys want to hear about, what you don't want to hear about, who you want to have on. Tell me about your baseball memories from this summer and all your interactions. Um, I think something though that I definitely was able to reinforce with myself this past summer was how important it is for us as baseball players to, um, yes, we're out there to play the game. Yes, we're out there to compete and be the best we can, but we're also there. We're ultimately there for the fans. Um, without the fans, we don't have a job. No, like there's not a whole stadium. There's not anybody else have a job. Like nobody is there at all without the fans. And every year I try to make it a priority to talk to them. And this year, spending a full, let's see, May, June, July, August, September, like spending a full 5 months there. I was really able to get close with some of the people there. I will give a special shout out to Eileen, to Alan, and to his wife Phyllis. You three were really special this summer, and I can't thank you guys enough for everything you did. I'm going to post a picture, but they gave me this little tin can version of myself that I think is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Um, and you guys were a big part of that. Another special shout out to Taylor. She was a little girl that lives in Altoona, and she was super nice. She would always come to our games, take pictures for us, and she was very, very special. She's such a great person to have around the field. But yeah, that's kind of my life right now. That was this summer. So I got the list of all the people that came on the podcast this past off season. Jojo Gray. If you guys didn't follow Jojo Gray at all, I am very sorry. You guys got to go buy a Nats jersey right now with Gray across the back. The kid did awesome, made his major league debut. I could not have been more proud of him. But then he was part of the Max Scherzer deal, which tells you something about this kid because he is special if you're giving up Max Scherzer to get him. Joe Jakes was in AAA all year and freaking killed it, which is no shock at all. Mason Martin, I saw him hit the roller coaster a million times this summer, and the kid just gets stronger and stronger every year. Joe LaSorsa won a championship in low A for the Rays organization in Charleston with the Charleston River Dogs, I believe. And that is one of the best minor league parks in the entire country. And I really encourage you guys to check it out if you can. Pat Durant kicked my ass again in Double A until I finally struck him out for the first time ever. And we've been facing each other for a long time. Garrett did great down in High A for us. Hunter Stratton did so well in Double A that he got moved to Triple A halfway through the year. Mike Burrows ran into a little bit of an injury problem, but when he was healthy, he was shoving, and now he's out in the Arizona Fall League dominating. Justin Hare is like I said, one of the best human beings I've ever met in my life, and unfortunately, he took a step away from the game, and we all really miss him dearly. My buddy Anthony Travato, unfortunately, he also took another step away from the game, but now he's running a baseball facility in Orlando. He's holding on to the game as much as he can because he's always loved it as much as I have. Eric Sim, if you guys don't know who Eric Sim is, you live under a rock, and you got to go check him out. He's been all over the place with at Watch Momentum. We're working with Trevor Bauer and all that stuff. Chris Corbett coached a hell of a season in college baseball this year, and his team was finishing at one of the top in the league. Johnny Schneider was down with the Reds. He did fantastic. Matt Pierpont unfortunately stepped away from the game, but now he's a coach in the Mariners organization. And actually, we had a guy traded from the Mariners at one point, and he said, had nothing but great things to say about Matt. Jack Herman won a championship in Low A with the Bradenton Marauders, and I got to watch him, lose his mind and go crazy all over Twitter and have fun with that. Nick Mears, next up, killed it in the big leagues. That dude was, he had a little bit of ups and downs, but right at the end of the year, he turned that notch back up to 100, and he was throwing some heat. Ryan Smith did awesome for the Angels organization, and I see no reason as to why he's not going to progress well through that system and be pitching right there with Shohei Ohtani with Mike Trout behind him. Noah Zavolis, another great year for the kid. Justin Hageman is throwing fuzz again. He told me he was, since pro ball, he's been low 90s, but this year he got up to 96 and posted, I think, a 2 ERA. Matt Seelinger I got to see a couple times this summer as he was with the Richmond Flying Squirrels, and the drop is as gross as ever. Zach Kelly with the Red Sox pitched in AAA this year, and throughout the whole year, posted a 1.6 in Double A and posted a 2.8 in AAA. This dude's going to be in the big leagues next year, at the very least, because I don't know who the hell else Boston throws these days. But hey, they made it to the LCS, so they're pretty damn good. And finally, Mark Washington posted another 2 ERA and Double A for the Dodgers. And I'm very interested to see what happens with him coming up on the Rule 5 draft and everything. But, we'll see. Time will tell. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys. As always, go check out Advocates for Minor League Baseball. They're doing some of the best work in the game. Everything they do is seriously impactful. They've actually had so much of an impact that Major League Baseball has finally agreed to pay for the housing in the season for minor leaguers, which is absolutely massive. We've been asking for anything for a long time, and to show that they're listening at all is massive, and it's really special. It's really important for a lot of guys. But I am slightly nervous to see how this all goes next year, but we will see. We will see. As always, check us out on YouTube, Apple's podcast, Spotify. Find the Instagram at MILBTake and the Twitter at the MILBTake. You can find me, Brad_Queso, to stay up to date on all the new podcasts and all the new posts coming out. Let me know who you want on. Let me know what you want me to ask them. Let me know any kind of questions you guys have about baseball in general. I'd be happy to answer them for you. And once again, thank you guys for stopping by. Have a good one.